Using skip counting to estimate large quantities. Students are going to skip count by tens, hundreds, and thousands and estimate the number of items in a group by skip counting. So we have the mental math minute to start. I don't actually know what that is because I don't have my notes in front of me, so we'll skip that for now. Skip count by tens from 10 to 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Great. Where could we show skip counting by tens? Okay, so skip count out loud by tens, but start at different numbers. So what we just did was we started at 0 and we went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and we kept going. But what if we started at 4 and we skip counted by tens? Then what? 4, 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94. Okay, what if you started at 7 and skip counted by tens? Go ahead and do that. All right. Here's some exercises. You're going to skip count by tens, but you're going to start at different numbers. Go ahead and do that independently. So for this first one, you should have 40, 50, 60, 70. Then for this one, you should have 77, 87, 97, 107. Next one, you should have 96, 106, 116, 126, 136. And then this one, you should have 304, 314, 324, and 334. Okay, what about hundreds? Could we skip down by hundreds from 100 to 1,000? Well, we can, right? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Great. What about going from other numbers? Okay, so look at this. I added a 0 to all the numbers in the last column. So instead of 10, this is now 100. Instead of 20, this is now 200. And if I was using that column, I would be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, counting up by hundreds. Okay, but what if I started here at 5, but I just added a 0 to this? So let's call that 50. And we're skip counting by hundreds, so it's 50, 150, 250, 350, 450, 550, 650, 750, 850, 950. We're still just adding 100 every time, and there's just adding another 0 there makes that kind of easier to see. So here's some exercises to skip count by 100. Pause the video and do those independently. Okay, you should have 400, 500, 600, 700, then 620, 720, 820, 920, then 589, 689, 789, and 889. And then for this one, 1,045, 1,145, 1,245, and then 1,345. What number will we skip count by now? Yeah, you're right. Let's go to thousands. So again, we just added 2 zeros here. So instead of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, now we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So let's say we start at 2, but we add 2 zeros there. Now we have 200. And if we add 1,000 every time, it goes 200, 1,200, 2,200, 3,200, 4,200, 5,200, 6,200, 7,200, 8,200, and 9,200. So we're following similar patterns, okay? So go ahead and do this exercise. Skip count by 1,000. Pause the video and do that now. Okay, you should have 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 1,000. I'm going to display a group of counters. Skip count by tens to estimate how many there are. So I think here's my counters. So, no, I think I was supposed to have counters for this slide, but I don't have them right now. So we're going to jump to this one. So these objects don't move. But can we say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is about 10. So how can we estimate objects that don't move? Well, visually, I can see, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe 80, maybe 70. Okay, but we're skip counting by tens to estimate. What about if there's several hundred of objects? It's probably better to skip count by 100 to estimate. Okay, so how do I figure out how many of these might be 100? Well, I can look here and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is about 10 high, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is about 10 wide. So this here is about 100. So we could say 100, 200, a little less, but maybe call it 300, 400, 500. Maybe I would say that's about 600. Okay, you start by counting groups of 10, but then you multiply that to make a group of 100, and then you count by hundreds. All right, so here's an extension. In this building, every floor in the bottom section has about 200 windows. Every floor in the middle section has about 100 windows, and every floor in the top section has about 50 windows. So if you would like to do this extension, go ahead and estimate the number of windows in the building now. Okay, I'm going to model how I would do it. So this whole section here is about 200 each, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So that's 1,600 windows here. I jot that down here, 1,600. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 windows here. I jot that down, 600. And then 50, so that's 200. 50 times 4 is 200. So 1,600 plus 600 is 2,200 plus another 200. I would say about 2,400 windows is how I would estimate that. Okay, here's another question for you to do. A plane is flying 3,200 meters above the ground. Then it flies up 1,000 meters higher 5 times. Then it flies down 500 meters lower 10 times. Use skip counting to find out how high above the ground the place ends up. So we start at 3,200 meters. I'm just going to switch that to we're at 3,000 meters. Then we go up 5 times. So 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. I counted on my fingers. That's 5 times. So now we're at about 8,000 meters high. Exactly, we're at 8,200, but I estimated out that 200. So we're at 8,000. Okay, then it flies down 500 meters 10 times. So if I'm at 8,000 and I'm going down 500 meters 10 times, I think I'd rather turn this into 5,000 meters because 500 meters times 10 is 5,000. So 8,000 minus 5,000 is 3,000. So we're back to where we started, about 3,000 meters in the sky. Okay, another question for you to do. I'm going to show you a ball and an empty box. I want you to estimate the number of balls that will fit in the box, okay? This is up to you. Find any box and any ball, and then it's up to you to estimate the number of balls that will fit in the box. You can ask me if you're in class. I might have something set up for this, or I might not, okay? Go ahead and answer that now. I probably won't model how I would answer this one, but I will think about what types of balls we should use. Maybe I'll buy a bunch of ping pong balls this weekend. And that's it. After you would do that, your reward would be to work on your workbook. So that would be whatever. I would just give it to you, but anyways, it's N4-2. So it looks like this. So we do some practice, skip counting by tens, by hundreds, and by thousands. If you want to skip, pause and do that right now, you can. I'm not going to model it though. Then there's an explanation here. You can estimate the number of dots in the picture by skip counting by tens. There's 4 groups altogether, so that's about 40 dots. So these questions ask you to circle groups of tens and then estimate the number of squares. So 10 there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm going to say 60. Then estimate jelly beans, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, maybe 100. Another explanation, 100 dots are circled in this picture. So there's 4 other groups of 100. So that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So question 6 says 100 sticks are circled. So circle other groups of about 100. So that's pretty tricky. So 100, 200, maybe 300, 400. A little more than 400 though. I'd say like 450, 425, something like that. So same thing but with circles. So circle groups of 100 and then estimate the number of stars. Question 8, Dory wants to estimate the number of people watching the football game in the stadium. She knows that every block of seats holds about 1,000 people. She counts 7 blocks of seats that are completely full. 1 other block has a small number of people in the front row. estimate how many people are in the stadium. Okay, go ahead and do that. I think if I was working on this, I would highlight all the important information and jot it down. I'd probably do this in a notebook or something. So every block's 1,000. There's 7 blocks that are completely full, so that's 7,000. Another one has a small number in the front row. So I'd say like, I don't know, 700, 7,100, 7,200, something like that. Okay, so that's that lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I am gonna see what type of balls and boxes they suggest. But I don't know that you're gonna want to watch this whole thing of me finding this. Teacher resources, unit 1. And we're gonna go to lesson 2, which is here. Okay, show students a tennis ball and an empty box roughly twice the size of a toaster oven. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I think that's probably just like 10 or something, right? I was thinking like ping pong balls in like one of those square boxes. I think I might do that. Okay, great. Thanks for watching my lesson. Not sure what I'm going to use this for, but if it's on YouTube, go ahead and give me a comment. Thank you very much. How do I stop this?